everybody. I'm so excited. This is our last session of Undiet. Thank you, everyone, who's been on this journey with me so far. I am so excited that you are here, and I'm so grateful that you entrusted me to take you on this journey with you so you can finally learn the secrets to gain confidence, motivation, so you can finally lose weight once and for all for good, because that is my goal. That is all I want from everybody watching this, is to finally break out of this cycle and to finally get you the weight, the health, everything that you've been wanting for so long. So I'm hoping that this course really, helped you get further along that path. Hopefully you took some nuggets of information that will help you. And please let me know as soon as it's over what you thought about this, and whether it helped you, whether the homeworks helped you, whether just listening to me did anything. I mean, like, I'm really excited to teach you guys this stuff, so I really hope that everything you learned something from everything I talked about. And let's get started. So if you don't know, my name is Leah. I am a certified integrative nutrition wellness coach. I focus on teaching people how to use food to get their results that they want. My focus is helping people gain confidence, help people gain motivation, help people really get the life that they have been wishing for so long. So, and I'm really excited too, because I finally have spots open for new one-on-one private consulting with clients. So if you don't know, what I do in my private sessions is I work with people one on one. I help people figure out what their blocks are that's holding them back, and I work with them to overcome those blocks. So if you feel like there's something keeping you back from either getting the life that you want, achieving a big goal that you've been too afraid to go after, if you feel like your health is holding you back from maybe a new job or a better job or a better life or a relationship, or just overcoming stress or anxiety, or just you struggle with sleep or digestion, or whatever it is, something that's keeping you from really getting the life that you feel like you're missing out on, please send me a message right now. I will make sure I make space for you, because I really want to make sure that I can help you get to that goal, because my job is to make sure you're getting the life that you actually want to live, and that's my purpose and that's my goal. So if you feel like that there's something holding you back in your life and you want help figuring out what that is, I don't think many people realize that health is so related to everything else in your life. So if there's something keeping you stuck or in a rut or miserable, let me know, and I will work with you to figure out what that is and help you overcome that, because that is my goal, and that is what I do, and that is my sole purpose in life, and that's what I love doing. And I'm really excited, and I really love helping people, and I'm really excited to get these people to a better life and better health, better success. You know what I mean? Because that's all we want. We just want to live happy, successful lives. So if you feel like you're one of those people who needs that like push, or you don't know what it is that's holding you back, send me a message, send me a private message, go to my website, fill out the application. I will make sure I make space for you. Okay? So with that, let's get started on our final session of Undiet. Okay, let's go. So where we left off, right? We left off on really talking about mindset, right? And we talked about how we can get ourselves motivated, how we can get more confidence, how we can work with our partners or the haters in our life. We really figured all that out, right? So if you did the homeworks from the last two sessions, you already are raring to go. You're already really excited, and you're like, okay, let's do this. I'm ready to go. So the last two steps are mastering sleep, and then finally, mastering the food. So sleep is the last piece before we talk about food, because sleep is so important in making sure we get quality sleep. I mean, I think we all know is when we are tired during the day, we are not making the best food choices, right? Those are usually when we snack more. We reach for things that we know in our rational brain that we should not be eating, right? Too much sugar, or just too much junk food, or maybe we're drinking too much because we're stressed more. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, we know that ultimately it's because we're tired. So you should really emphasize, in addition to the whole mindset, in addition to the stress, you should also really pay attention to improving your sleep. All right, maybe you need a better nighttime routine. A nighttime routine is actually the backbone to making sure you get quality sleep, in addition to the stress and the eating well. Those things also work in tandem with getting better sleep. So a better nighttime routine, maybe it's just winding down earlier, or reading instead of watching TV, or turning off the news, right? I know many people who watch the news before they bed and then they wonder why they can't sleep, right? Or maybe it's just too much phone, too much social media, whatever it is. Um, Figuring out what that is key to preventing you from getting sleep if you're one of those people who have trouble getting to sleep. Um, Maybe you just need a more consistent routine. I mean, a lot of times we know what we need to do, but we're not consistent with it. It's our brains are funny. Our brains, they can get tricked into knowing what to do if you're consistent with it. This is actually a trick I learned with my kids, just figuring out how they get better sleep, right? So I learned with my kids that if they have a consistent bedroom routine, then they go to bed easier and they sleep better. Why doesn't it now work for adults? Of course it does, right? So if we're consistent with our bedroom routines and do the exact same thing every night, we're already telling our brains, hey, sleep is coming, and you actually fall asleep better, right? So I would really emphasize a good bedtime routine. If you have that and you're still having trouble sleeping, then the next step would be looking at maybe you're drinking too much caffeine during the day, maybe too much alcohol at night. I know a lot of us drink alcohol at night to help us wind down, but if you have too much, it might actually hinder your sleep. If you're drinking too much coffee during the day, too much soda, or whatever it is, that caffeine will affect your sleep as well. You won't actually get such a sound sleep. Maybe too much chocolate or something throughout the day could be disrupting your sleep. Too much sugar, right, can also disrupt your sleep. Or just too much junk food during the day can disrupt your sleep too. So those are things you might want to look at to see if they're impacting your sleep. And if you still don't know, again, send me a message and maybe I can look through your routine or whatever you're doing in your day-to-day and help you figure out, pinpoint what could be possibly leading to you not getting to sleep fast enough, or maybe you have insomnia. Maybe I can help you figure those things out too. Okay, so send me a message if you have problems with that. But I would definitely, if you're not sleeping well and you're tired during the day, that could also really impact your weight loss efforts, and it could also impact your health goals a lot. So sleep is really, really important. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. So now we can finally talk about food. And the reason why I did food last is because everything else is actually so much more important than food. And I know that's like counterintuitive to what we've all been taught in terms of weight loss, right? But it's the truth. Until you master your mindset, until you master the motivation, the confidence part, the sleep, the stress, you could eat a perfect diet and it'll be completely derailed by all the other stuff not being good. So that's why I really emphasize making sure that other stuff is on point before we focus on the food. Because food really, I swear, is second to all that other stuff. So I would put all your energy into making sure the rest of your life is as good as it's going to get. You know, you're really motivated, you're really consistent, you've done the exercises I discussed before, you can handle your stress, you handle your sleep, and then we can start talking about food, okay? But however, with that too, when you start eating better, all those other things do become easier and vice versa. So everything really works together, okay? So now with food, we've all been, I think, I don't know if brainwashed is the right word, but we've all really, when we talked about weight loss or health goals, we've always been taught what, foods we should not eat, right? We should not eat sugar. We should not eat bread. We should not eat something. You know what I mean? It's always something, right? So I want to completely rewire your brains right now, okay? Stop focusing on what you cannot have. Stop focusing on eliminating foods from your diet. Stop, right? I will repeat, stop the focus on what you're getting rid of. Stop the focus on what you cannot have. Completely change your thinking, all right? Instead, what I want you to do is focus on adding in foods, okay? This will completely change how you look about eating. This will completely change how you look about healthy eating. It's just focusing instead on what you can add into your diet. Because the reality is, if you focus on what you can add in, all the good stuff you're suddenly adding in, by natural subtraction, you're not going to have space for all the other things that you're quote unquote should not be eating or eliminating. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's what I want you to focus on. What can I add in? Completely ignore, get away from your brain, rewire it. Don't focus on what I should not quote unquote have. Food's very subjective, right? So, and even if you ate something you quote unquote should not have, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as you're focusing on what should I be adding in, you're always going to be set up for a lot better success as opposed to what can I eliminate. Because we want to keep everything positive. We want to keep everything in a more, positive energy space. Because when we think about eliminating, we think about, depriving ourselves. We put it in a very negative territory. We don't want to think of food in a negative way. We want to think of food in a very positive way, because food really should be enjoyed, right? We should have fun with food. We should be enjoying food with other people, right? So we should put the focus back on enjoying food again, enjoying who we're eating food with, and just having fun with food again, okay? So, again, food is second to healthy mind, less stress, healthy relationships, and just overall your day-to-day balance. Food should be enjoyed. Food should be considered an experience, and an enjoyable experience, okay? If you're not enjoying your food, you're missing a big part of life, a big happy part of life. I mean, we all love eating, so let's work it to our benefit, right? So we really want to put nutrition first. So when I say adding things in, we want to add the most nutritious foods in our diet, the most superfoods in our diet, the healthiest things we could eat into our diet. And as a result, you're going to naturally decrease everything else. And even if those other things slip in, it doesn't matter, because you're primarily going to be eating good foods anyway. And when you're eating good, nutritious foods and you're ignoring the numbers, the macros, the calories, you're going to naturally feel better. You're going to naturally get to the weight you're supposed to be at. You're going to naturally get to your healthier self, because you're putting nutrition first. Okay, and I go over the nitty gritty, what this means, what is behind nutrients, what is behind nutrition, and actually my really popular masterclass, Master Your Food Using Nutrition, and that actually starts in like 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about it. So if you're one of those people who really wants to know what's going on behind your food, how nutrients are working for you, how your body digests food, how your body digests all the different nutrients, what they're doing inside your body, how they're working for us, how to use food to work for you, then I suggest you take a look at this, and I suggest you join me in a couple weeks for this masterclass, because really this is an eye-opening nutrition course. It teaches you how to eat effortlessly. It teaches you to finally use science behind food to get the health that you actually really want. So that's in my masterclass, Mastering Your Food Using Nutrition. So I'll put the link for that at the end of this. So please make sure you check that out, especially if you're really interested in this stuff and you want to know exactly how to use food for your benefit. So I will tell you in this class, though, what foods you should be adding in right now, okay? So real quick, let's do a list. So if you have your notebooks, this is when I want you to write things down, okay? The very first thing is more water. So many people do not drink enough water. I know that's not technically food, but drinking more water by itself will make you feel better. And a lot of times people don't realize when they think they're hungry, they're actually really thirsty. A lot of people are walking around very dehydrated. And I know this because I look at a lot of people's food diaries. A lot of people are just not drinking enough water, okay? So really emphasize putting water in. And if you're one of those people who just hates the taste of plain water, I get it. I totally get it. I go through like moods where I'm like, oh, I really like plain water. Then I'm like, ugh, I gotta put something in it. So my advice, citrus, always citrus. For whatever reason, the acidity makes water more palatable and makes it easier to drink. Um, I also add these fizz sticks from Arbonne into them, which are like vitamins and they flavor your water. And I can post a link for that too. They're really good because they also, in addition to like vitamins, they give you like an energy burst too. So I find those really helpful putting into my water as like a flavor component. But I really emphasize drinking more water. Now, in terms of food, these are the things that I want you adding in. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how you do that in a second. But I want you to make this list. So things to add in. You're not going to add all this at once, so don't get overwhelmed. But these are the categories that I want you to think about. And I actually have a printable list too. So I will link that as well. A printable list of all these things. So green veggies, green cruciferous veggies, mushrooms, fruit, especially berries, full fat real food. Yes, I said full fat. Do not eat any more of that low fat garbage. It does not work. It's not in your benefit. Full fat is actually healthier for you than anything lean, anything low fat, because eating natural sources of fat will actually satiate you better, make you feel full, right, for longer, which means you will naturally eat less, right? That's kind of what people think about when they terms of dieting, eating less, portion control, right? So you have to eat real fat for that. You want to focus on quality proteins, quality meats, um, forget like that boneless, skinless chicken breast. No, buy like real chicken, buy like real beef, real good quality steaks, real quality seafood, right? If you don't eat meat, you can also get tofu, beans, lentils, um, really good quality proteins. Nothing lean. I would also, in the fun side, cacao, chocolate, right? Good quality cacao chocolate has a lot of health benefits to it. It's really nutritious for you, and it's a good as you see chocolate. Um, any sort of fermented foods, I would also include nuts, seeds, and finally whole grains. I do have a caveat with whole grains. If you're gluten free, make sure they're gluten free. But even still with whole grains, a lot of people cannot tolerate them very well. So when you're eating whole grains, really pay attention to how your body is responding to them. If especially right afterwards or even the next day, if you experience any sort of bloating, brain fog, less energy, then either you're eating too much or maybe you're one of those people that just can't tolerate greens. Because a lot of people have wheat allergies or have gluten intolerances, so you want to be really careful with whole grains, okay? But for everybody else, whole grains are really in the really can be very nutritious as well, okay? So how exactly are we going to add these in, right? Now, I really don't want anybody tomorrow overhauling their entire diet. Like, okay, Leah said I have to do all this. No, no, right? I'm still teaching you how to do this without dieting. That's the whole point. I want you to do this in a sustainable way where you can actually stick with it. That's the whole point, all right? So I don't want you to, just because I gave you a whole list doesn't mean I want you to do the whole list in one night, right? Now, that's the list you're going to aim for eventually, but that's not what I want you to do initially. I want you to focus on only adding maybe 1 to 3 things per week. And I don't mean just adding fruit. I want like one piece of fruit. You know what I mean? So pick like blueberries or something, right? Literally one food item. You can go up to 3 if you really feel ambitious and you can do it. But really focus on just one thing per week, okay? Because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. When people get overwhelmed, they stop. We don't want you to stop. We want you to keep going, okay? Because this is what will realistically help you get to that healthier place that you want to be, that version of you that you wrote down the other day, that version of you that you are working towards right now as we speak, okay? So that's what my goal is for you. So my advice would be to pick one food item per week to start incorporating in your diet, in your food, repertoire, right? So for example, this week we'll start with, I'll go with my blueberries, right? You will buy blueberries this week. You will figure out how to eat more blueberries, where to put them. Maybe you want to put them in your yogurts or in your pancakes or in your smoothies, or just eat them as a snack, whatever it is. You're just going to figure out different ways to eat blueberries this week. Okay, so when you're done after this week, you already have a bunch of fun new ways to eat blueberries. They're already kind of slowly working into your routine, etc., right? Next week, you're going to pick one new food item. So if you want to do a different category, we'll do walnuts from the nut category, right? So next week, you're going to figure out how to incorporate more walnuts into your food, right? Either you're going to put them on salads, you can eat them as a snack. I like to eat them with some dark chocolate as like a pick-me-up snack. You can incorporate them in some sort of dish, whatever it is. Maybe it's a dessert. I mean, who cares, right? Whatever it is, you're going to incorporate walnuts in your food next week. You never got rid of blueberries though, so you're still eating blueberries next week, right? So next week you're still technically eating blueberries, and then you added walnuts, right? So you got two food right there. And there you work them into your routine, so now they are part of your routine. You see where I'm going? And then the third week we'll pick, let's say, spinach. So you're going to incorporate spinach in your, maybe you're going to eat more salads, maybe you're going to saute it, maybe we're going to add it to chicken or as a wrap or whatever it is. You're going to figure out all these cool new ways to eat spinach, and you're going to incorporate in your life, but you're still eating blueberries and you're still eating walnuts. So now you got 3 superfoods in your life. And then the next week you're going to incorporate something else. Maybe that's when you get fun and you do the cacao, right? You're going to figure out ways to eat that. See what I'm saying? So every week you're adding a new thing, but you never actually got rid of the other things you've been eating because they were already part of your routine. And you can see how quickly your food is, you're adding more nutritious foods and it's compounding week to week, right? So, a couple months, imagine all the food that you're eating, all this really highly nutritious superfoods that you're just eating that are just part of your routine. How much other stuff do you think you're going to be eating? Very little. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to pick one thing per week to focus on, nothing else. Okay, because I want you to really do it well. So once you do it well, you go to the next thing. And maybe it takes you more than a week, and that's fine too. I just pick a week because it's easy. You know what I mean? But you can do 2 weeks. Pick one food for 2 weeks. That way you really incorporate it in well. Okay? So that's what my goal for you now, or that's what I want you to focus on, okay? And I actually have a nice printout that I will include where you can print it out every week, and it will actually help you pick out the things that you're eating that week that will help you not feel overwhelmed. So you know exactly what you're going to be eating, okay? So that's my trick, and that's what I did, and that's what ended up working for me. Because once I started incorporating all these things in my routine, I just eat them without thinking about it now. You know what I mean? For me, it's like easy breezy to eat healthy because it's just part of my life. Because I did it incrementally. I didn't overhaul my diet overnight because that wasn't working. Okay, and I don't want you to do that. All right. So I hope that's helpful for you. Okay, and that's really my last tip for you guys. Okay, and again, if when this is over, please let me know in the comments, whether or not you're doing all this and how it's helpful. Even like next week, let me know, what your progress is. I really want to know because I did this because I legitimately want you guys to feel better, lose weight, get a healthier place, get on the path to a healthier version of you. That is my ultimate goal for you guys. And again, in a couple weeks, I'm doing this masterclass in nutrition called Master Your Food Using Nutrition. And this is going to be an eye-opening course where you're really going to learn about food. You're really going to learn about how to use food to work for you, right? And in a way that makes it really accessible. I love teaching science to people who don't know science. I have a real knack for teaching it to every day, and I can make it so you really understand it. And I will also incorporate really good exercises there because I want you also learning there too. So check that out. I will link that as well too. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being a part of this quick little masterclass course, whatever you want to call it, this past 3 sessions. I hope that I helped you. I hope you took some nuggets of information that you can use. And I'm always available for you guys, so please let me know. Please contact me. Please send me messages. I love getting them. I love knowing that this stuff's helping you guys. And I will see you soon. Okay, bye.